You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be reviewing Green Lantern #1. This week, we get a new Green Lantern book with two of the most popular lanterns, written by two of the most popular writers at DC at this moment. Hal Jordan, written by Jeremy Adams, with art by Xermanico, and John Stewart, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, with art by Montos. While I'm a Guy Gardner fan myself, this is a great first issue that feels both fresh and classic, with a strong rebirth feel. After reading this issue, I'm excited about a Green Lantern book for the first time in years. So let's get into this right after I ask you all to subscribe to the channel, like the video, enable notifications, and let me know what you thought of Green Lantern #1 in the comments below. Now, there is a recap page, and that is a surprise. We don't get that much at DC. I wish we got it more, but it does get everybody up to speed with what is happening with the Green Lantern Corps at the moment. And it feels like a Star Wars crawl, so I like that as well. It is a time of radical change in the galaxy. The Guardians of Oa have disappeared, and in their absence, the United Planets have seized control of the Green Lantern Corps. In a shocking decree, the United Planets have declared Sector 2814 an unsafe liability to the universe and have reassigned the quote-unquote Earth Lanterns to other sectors. The true motivation behind this hostility remains a mystery. Furious at the turn of events, one Lantern has quit in protest, returning to Earth to start his life anew, and that would be Hal Jordan. And that gets everybody up to speed, sets up what is a really, really good issue. It's easy to see from the start that Jeremy Adams gets Hal Jordan. It's no surprise. He did actually write a bunch of issues on the Green Lantern, the animated series, but as we all know, sometimes that doesn't equate to good comic writing. Thankfully, it does here. The story does jump around a bit, showing Hal reacclimating himself to Earth life, but still being a hero. Hey, you can take the man out of the Corps, but you can't take the Corps out of the man. I mentioned Rebirth earlier. Story actually reminds me a bit of Geoff Johns' Flash Rebirth, because like Barry in that, Hal is going to have to adjust to a world that has moved forward even if he hasn't. This is mostly shown through the scenes with Hal and Carol Ferris. Carol has moved on, but she can't ever seem to completely let go, and so she gives Hal yet another shot as a pilot at Ferris Aircraft. This sets up a really hilarious scene that shows how not with it Hal actually is, even though he tries his best to look cool in front of all the young kids. Through all of this, it's obvious that Hal is having a post-Lantern crisis, and that's understandable. Most of his life has been centered around Lantern stuff and space, and now that's pretty much gone. So what is there to do? Well, luckily, and that's in air quotes, a month earlier, Steel Fury, a villain who bought Manhunter Tech online, decided to cause a ruckus in downtown Coast City, and Hal, armed only with his pickup truck and a ton of willpower, stepped up to stop him. While Steel Fury intended to disintegrate the former Green Lantern, he actually ended up charging up his ring, and that put a huge smile on Hal Jordan's face. Now, the whole issue looked fantastic, but what I liked most about Xermanico's art was the look of joy on Hal's face when he's doing what he loves, being a Lantern, being a pilot. It is nice to see, and is a great juxtaposition to his overall kind of downer situation. On a side note, the look of surprise, and here we go again on Carol's face when she first saw Hal, was priceless. All this and a surprise cameo that I do think is very, very intriguing, and I think it's going to set up more of a kind of a duo than a villain type thing, which, if you think about it, kind of does, it's reminiscent of the beginning of the Geoff Johns' New 52 Green Lantern book there. But overall, all that said and done, I think that this book and this story is a winner, right? But there's more. The John Stewart backup story by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Montos, which isn't the band that Sammy Hagar was in back in the day, isn't as new user friendly as the Hal Jordan story, as it seems to tie into Dark Crisis world without a Justice League Green Lantern a little more than I hoped. And it brings back concepts of the Bright Revenant and the Radiant Dead. I'll be quite honest, I was not a big fan of any of that already, so this might end up being a hard sell for me, but I am willing to see what Philip Kennedy Johnson does with this Revenant Queen versus Jon Stewart story as it moves forward, eventually getting into its own solo book. But right now, I'm just here for the Jeremy Adams Hal Jordan story, really. If you end up liking the Jon Stewart stuff, count that as bonus time because, yeah, the first story, the Jeremy Adams Hal Jordan story, is worth the price of admission alone. I said it already. I'm excited about a Green Lantern book for the first time in years, and that is enough for me to highly recommend this and give Green Lantern #1 a 9.3 out of 10. And I suggest if you say like the Green Arrow book that came out or Shazam, these books that do have this new fresh feel, that's what I'm hoping more and more books from this Dawn of DC give us, because boy, these things are hitting really well. Then throw in the Superman stuff that's really doing good as well. It's starting to pick up. It's starting to get, and I have seen and heard from some people that are starting to kind of meander back. I wish that this was more of a big hit. Like, boom, all these books hit, so everybody's, oh my God. But these books coming out now and again, dribs and drabs, whatever, it's starting to bring back some readers' dribs and drabs, and hopefully this all doesn't get derailed when we get to the spookiest months of the year, July and August, for the Night Terrors. But really, I'm hoping that September is when everything, boom, hits, because there's a lot of books, creative team changes in September, and I think that's when we'll really get to see if this Dawn of DC is worth it and if it is working. So hopefully it is. I'm enjoying a lot of these books already, so I'm in. I'd like to know what you all think of this book and maybe even the whole Dawn of DC in general, because I'm excited. So, hey, everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.